So, an update on my wife's situation. I wish I could be positive. I want to be positive so bad. I'm fighting for my wife. You have no idea. Like Rocky Balboa. I'm doing everything in my power, everything that you could possibly do to help her. I'm doing it, but it just gets more complicated. Unfortunately, it keeps getting more challenging. It's a real tear jerker. It's so heartbreaking what's going on. So, apparently, now my wife has developed an obstruction in her brain. Now, at first, I thought it was the liquids because they put what's called an EVD. That's like it's a little port that drains the fluids. It redirects the fluids. All of us have fluids. I don't know if you notice in our brain, but the thing is that the fluids travel normally. When you have tumors, when you have cancer, it becomes obviously very challenging for these fluids to travel, and then they could they cause obstructions. But that's what I thought it was. But now I just found out it's not the fluids. I found out it's not the fluids that's causing the obstruction. They have that EVD, that drain on, so the fluids are coming out of the brain. It's flowing. Okay, it's flowing fine. So the EVD is working. They're also going to be eventually doing a permanent situation, which is called a VP shunt, that will permanently redirect these fluids. The problem is that the tumors are growing. Now, you would think this would be a simple thing, right? You would think treat the cancer. That's all I've been saying to everybody for the past like 2 weeks since the first day she got into the hospital. Treat the cancer. My wife's cancer, HER2, this is a form of breast cancer, responds very, very well to chemotherapy. There was a time, now see, people get confused when I say breast cancer. They're like, but I thought it's in her brain. I thought it's in her spinal cord. The origin, the beginning parts is breast cancer, when she first got it. It metastasized to the brain and to the spinal cord. So they still categorize it. They still call it breast cancer, even though it has spread to different parts, like to the brain and the spinal cord. It's still called breast cancer because that's the origin. Because people always get confused when I say that. So the challenge that we have now is this obstruction is making it impossible for her to get treatment. She can't get treatment because what they're saying to me, the oncologist, if I would put chemotherapy in her brain right now, it could kill her because of all the pressure of this obstruction. So it doesn't make any sense to me because I would think that the chemo would help it, but that's what he keeps saying. Or then he's saying it'll be ineffective anyway because of this drain. The chemotherapy will not be effective. It'll just drain right to her stomach. But the idea is you're supposed to shut off this drain. You're supposed to shut off this EVD or the shunt when administering the chemo. See, these doctors laugh at me. They think I'm like a psycho because to me, this all sounds like very simple. I'm not a doctor, but I mean, theoretically, even the doctor laughed at me and he was like, Rich, you make a lot of like sense in how you talk. He goes, it's just that it's unfortunately experimental and it could be potentially legally, he could get in trouble trying to do what I'm saying. I'm saying, why can't you just do this? Why can't you just shut off? Because that's what they do. I said, shut off the shunt, administer the chemotherapy, put the shunt back on, bingo, right? I don't know. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. They say, as long as that obstruction is there, they don't want to give her chemo. So the idea would be to get the obstruction, to get rid of it. Well, how can you do it? Surgery, right? Okay. The doctor is saying, this is the frustrating part. This is the heartbreaking. This is the tear-jerky part. That he can't reach it surgically. He says it's in an area of the brain that's not accessible. And he's like, I love when they say this. This is the famous thing doctors say, I don't want to hurt her. I'm like, you're not gonna hurt her. She's only gonna, at the rate she's going, it's like I think she might even be potentially having mini strokes right now. God bless her, because of all this cancer in her brain. They're not treating it. I'm like, just treat it. Give this girl. I feel in my heart if they give her the chemotherapy, it would help her, but they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it because of this obstruction. So he's saying surgically he can't get to it. So they don't want to do surgery. They don't want to do radiation. They say radiation will make it worse. They don't want to do the chemotherapy. So basically, they don't want to do anything. They're letting this girl she's in an ICU. She got off the ventilator. She's not doing so great. Because when they took the tubes out of her, she had a breathing tube in her throat. She had a food tube. She vomited, the poor girl. And what's happening is that it's causing aspiration. It's causing, my wife, because of the tumors, has very difficulty with swallowing food, or that's why she actually has a food tube in her through her nose now that she's being fed. It's freaking crazy. First it was in the throat, now they switched it to the nose. But this is a nightmare situation. So I think she aspirated because a little drop of that vomit maybe went down the wrong pipe. You got two pipes. You got the one pipe that goes to your esophagus and to your stomach, the other one to your lungs. Food is not supposed to go down that pipe, but when you have troubles that my wife has with this cancer and the tumors, apparently she's having tremendous difficulty swallowing, and that caused her to aspirate. So now they're treating her for the pneumonia again. She's on heavy oxygen. She's going back and forth with her oxygen. She's like borderline to possibly go back on the ventilator. I mean, this is a nightmare. So you might say, what are you going to do? It's really bad. The only thing we could do is hope that she recovers from, again, this aspiration, breathes better to the point we have to hope that she doesn't go back on the ventilator. So that's step one. We don't want her going back on the ventilator. Step two, right now she has this temporary drain on her. They have to give it a permanent one, which is a surgical procedure called a VP shunt. They got to get the shunt on her. Once they do that, then I could discharge her. I mean, obviously they're going to want to put her in rehab. I'd like to get her into a great hospital. I like to get her into the best hospital to see if there's something that they could do. But that's what I'm facing. Oh, nightmare. Is a nightmare. Hardest time in my family's life. As you all know, I do offer a service. If you could help our family in our time of need, if you can help my wife, you can help my children, you can help me. We are going through an extremely difficult situation. I call it the thank you song. I compose a jazz blues song on the keyboard, on the piano for you. I upload a short video on YouTube just as a way of saying thank you for an extremely small entertainment tip to help my family in need on my Cash App. My Cash App, again, is the $ RichardLevoi. That's like my piano bar tip jar. Just like as a small tip. And it could be any amount, anything your heart desires on my Cash App. $RichardLevoi. There's no space, no underscore in between my first and last name. It's the $ Richard, RichardLevi as in Victor, OI. All of this information is in the description of this video. God bless you for your consideration. Any entertainment tip on my Cash App, I will upload a video for you for your good deed called the thank you song. God bless you, and thank you for your consideration. And God bless you, and God bless your family, and God bless my wife, Jennifer. Going through so much, only 46 years old. Oh, doesn't seem like the greatest situation. But keep her in your prayers. Please keep her in your prayers. God bless you.